Bones are amazing things. They hold us up. They support us. They make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
And welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater. My name is Jeremy. We are playing a special one-shot of Grimworld. My character's name is Justice. I don't trust this place. Juice.
This is Johnny, and I'm playing Franklin.
My name is Jamison, and they have good mead.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm playing Arlo, and I might not have the best of vision, but I can tell that there's something wrong with this town.
And I am Jeff, playing Nathaniel Nickel.
And my name is Mike, and I am the story keeper on this macabre night. And so it is that you find yourselves ready to depart the haven of Shadevale.
Thank God.
But we have horses.
It's just so disconcerting to see all these happy, sick faces. It pulls at your heartstrings, but it also is just kind of unnerving.
So, like, when you said that they look like they've been starving, do they have, like, large eyes and, like, sunken cheeks?
Not quite. So the sunken cheeks maybe a little bit. You can see a little bit of sinew, in the arms. The skin is pulled back. You wouldn't really see pot bellies yet because it hasn't been a really long time. This is a new thing for them.
The fangs are just only starting to show.
Right, right.
Well, as we're gathering around the horses, I guess. Okay, so they were expecting this caravan to come from over the mountain, not from the path where we came.
Well, remember also that paths are only as defined as they are well-traveled.
Yes. It's not on the main path that we came from.
So, why do we care?
Jim has apparently made friends here.
Good for Jim.
I'm just saying, a caravan might be
Yes, caravan is a good place for us to
restock.
My point is that this caravan has gotten lost and supposedly less than 2-day travels, obviously weeks ago.
So who says they got lost on the way back? We could be going chasing after this caravan and they have absolutely nothing as well.
But the caravan could also be stopped, and we might find an unguarded stockpile.
You want to go loot the bodies?
I'm not saying those words exactly.
If they're bodies, most likely they're already looted.
Or eaten.
Eaten, most likely.
I mean, if worst case scenario, there's free stuff.
Worst case scenario, we have horse meat.
I've already provided at least that.
Exactly. Worst case scenario, we have horse meat.
So, here's a question. If we're going to take any horses, why not take all the horses?
Because there's only 4, and we gotta seem...
Because we're not jerks.
that.
You're the only jerk around here.
Debatable.
Soul-stealing jerk.
We gotta seem like not jerks.
Look, Nickel, you just need to leave Finn alone.
Well, Finn needs to leave me alone.
Also debatable. So way through the mountains, huh?
Well, with these storms rolling in, it doesn't seem like it's going to be safe to stay wandering our normal route, so it might not be a bad idea to diversify.
Yeah, it's either we go around the mountain or we go over the mountain.
Now, when they say storms, is this something that we would be totally knowledgeable of, or this is something that's like, he's talking about storms?
Yeah, so the weather is unpredictable and really violent, to the point where mechanically it could influence your well-being. There's not really any gentle weather in this landscape anymore, and it's not always clear when it's going to happen.
So the elements have really, truly turned to chaos.
And some say that it's because we are using the weave, damaging the world. And some say it's a byproduct of that, while others say that we've just used it wrong with Shadow, and this is the wild spirits angered.
It definitely is the dark.
So it just seems like a good idea to start heading that direction. And if we find this caravan, and we can,
I actually want to look for a map of this route through the mountains, if there is one.
Ooh. How do you want to go about that? Understanding that cartography is something whispered in hushed tones over candlelit and
Or
back
at
alleys.
least not necessarily a map, but maybe a list of notable posts to see along the route.
So again, that being placed in writing
category thing
creates a risk, right? The threat is out there, and writing it down creates a risk for every haven that you list, every road that you draw, every traveler on those roads. Creating a map is very dangerous, because if that falls into the wrong hands and a group of scavengers raids you and decimates your group and then has that map, all are at risk.
You said that skill set belongs to the lensers.
Yes.
So essentially, if we find a lenser...
And if they're willing to reveal themselves to you.
Yeah. I guess I don't want it written down then. I want, some knowledge of where we're going, so we're not just wandering through the mountains.
It's a smart idea to have that knowledge, right?
The beginnings of autumn, where it's starting to get ice everywhere.
Maybe since we lost our guide on the way here,
There you go.
we could ask them for the front of the pass to get over the mountain.
Presumably, they think we just came from there. So if we're asking where it is, that's a bad sign.
That's why it sucks that we just lost our guide.
And we are so incompetent that we can't remember where we came out of the mountains.
It's really good mead.
Oh.
What a twisted web we weave.
This is your fault.
We.
The young man approaches and says, was there something more you might need?
No.
Oh, apologies.
Do you have any paper?
I think there is some in our church, yes.
Okay. I would like to trade you for some paper.
I would be interested in entertaining that. What might you have for trade?
I go ahead and show him my valuables.
But you weren't expecting this.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and trade him a small music box that has the gears have slowed down, like when you turn it.
He seems fascinated by it. Roll to barter.
Okay.
So you will roll your influence if you have it.
Yeah, I do not. I should have probably taken that. I rolled a 4.
And he rolled a 5. So you're going to have to throw in one more object to get
Sure.
that paper.
You know what? I am going to go ahead and throw in a small vial of Jim's favorite.
I'm going to lean over to Squint and confidentially in his ear say, "You know I have a notebook, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then backs away, leaves him to it.
He takes the items and goes inside and gets a couple sheets of paper and brings them back out to you and has with it a pencil.
Okay.
And he goes off into the church, presumably to squirrel him away somewhere.
Sounds good.
Alright, so one way or the other, friends and gentlemen, I did tell them we would be leaving to go find this caravan, so it would be best if we did not stay in this immediate vicinity, whichever direction we go.
I'm looking for a cave entrance or some kind of path up the cliffside.
Okay.
So my trade action is always on the move. Would that apply to here? Because it had something to do with navigating. Uh-oh. Notes are being passed.
Secrets don't make
you
friends.
just drop
Notes are being passed.
I'm just scanning from the horse pasture.
Okay, so it'll be a 5 or better.
Yeah.
4.
Are you not skilled in it?
I'm not.
Right? Okay.
Nomads can navigate the wastelands with little challenge based on their own experience and the oral tradition of other nomads and lensers. An easy survival check allows the nomad to navigate through, over, or around geographical challenges with ease. So,
There we go. So it needs to be an easy check, and that's using
survival.
Survival.
So I don't have survival, so it's still 1 for bravado. Oh no! Oh no!
Fantastic.
I rolled a 1.
So, this incurs a neat dynamic called a hard choice.
So I could
try your odds.
Try my odds.
You could burn that, or you could take a hard choice. And the hard choice means that you would generate a stress, okay, because you rolled a 1.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would give you 2 fairly poor outcomes to choose from, and you would choose one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna try my odds.
I'm sorry.
You incur 2 stress.
2 1s.
That's beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm not GMing, but that was beautiful.
You know, recalling now the features as you see the sun setting, Carson is the name of the haven beyond the mountain. And you know that this time of year, that pass that you would have taken is shut down by avalanche. And that you could either navigate along the probably ice-laden river below, or try to make it through the fresh snow of the avalanche and perhaps fall to your doom. So now you know where the pass begins, and you know one of those 2 routes is open to you.
Possible death either way.
You know the information, so you can present that choice to them, or you can keep the knowledge to yourself and present it as one or the other only. And that's entirely up to you.
So it's getting colder.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to be going up into snow-capped mountains.
Yeah, so Juice is going to say, at this time, any pass through the mountains is going to be covered with snow. And with storms coming, we don't want to be caught in feet of snow.
No, we do not.
With 0 visibility. So we take the river. It's going to be icy, but we're going to take it to the river.
So we go back out the front gate.
Sure. Yep.
Dragging people.
2 riding and 3 walking, or just, 2 horses and 5 people.
I would assume Jim is riding a horse.
No, Jim's walking.
No, I'm riding a horse.
Jim has to keep up the image of posterity.
Yeah. I give.
I definitely am riding a horse.
Rank has its privilege.
Yes.
Right, Rank?
That's right.
That's right.
So it is that you depart the haven of Shadevale and head towards the haven of Carson, into the pass of which much ice and snow covers. You find your way down amongst the rocks down to the river, which is mostly frozen at this point.
Define mostly.
Not so frozen around the edges, but mostly frozen in the middle.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
If you want to do a survival check to understand more about it, that's fine.
Sure. Survival is under bravado.
Yep.
6.
Add a die, reduce stress by 1.
Oh, nice.
So you score morale. So anytime that someone scores morale, every person marks stress down by 1.
Okay.
The only one with stress right now, so which is the one guy you probably don't want to be stressed, because stress reduces the amount of healing that you can take at a given time, but it also reduces the amount of potency you have in the weave.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That stinks.
If you roll a skill check and you have, say, 4 stress, right? It's an easy skill check. You roll 3. You succeed, but you succeed with a complication because it's less than your stress. If it's a 4 or 5 or better, you're fine. No problem. You roll greater than your stress, right? So stress management can be important, yes.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 1. I don't know if that makes a difference.
So you would mark off a stress. You won't necessarily have a hard choice to make, though.
I didn't roll.
Didn't roll. Okay.
I didn't roll.
Didn't roll. All right. Thankfully, the party as a whole has averaged well. Determines that there is something magical about what's going on here and might want to be skirted around to the side as best as possible.
So, I look upriver and downriver for signs of a ford area.
We need to get away from this haven. Doing weird things. I don't like it.
You're not in a world in which weird things do not exist.
This is weird beyond weird.
How wide is the river?
And how much of a bank is there? Is it like cliff?
Bank-wise, you've got probably cliffs coming down, right? You can see the pass way the heck up there, almost out of eyesight kind of distance. Like But then the side that you're on, which is the side of the pass, there is probably about 10 yards of shore that you could travel along. The river at this point is probably about 200 to 300 yards wide.
It's big.
That's a big river.
It's big. One of the reasons why the haven exists where it does.
The ice in the middle of the river, does it look like it's technically it's magical, but is it like an island of ice? Or is it like ice that looks like it's kind of drifting down like an iceberg?
So there are chunks of thicker ice, but there is, for the most part, ice across the whole river. It's just thinner as it gets toward the bank, whereas normally you would expect it to be thicker.
Yeah, the other way around.
Thinner.
Yeah.
That's what's very strange to you. Right?
Yes. Are there trees nearby that are tall enough to reach that middle icy part?
There's very little vegetation.
Okay.
You see one tree on the opposite bank that's black and twisted and gnarled.
Going up the river.
Yep.
You start making your way up the river, and darkness is about upon you, and it's starting to get colder. Everybody give me a hard survival roll.
It's bravado.
4. Bravado of 5 or better.
4.
3.
4.
1.
We all failed.
Jordan keeps rolling ones on his red die.
That means we're doomed next time.
I know.
So Jordan, you will take a stress. So it's getting really cold. You need to make some kind of shelter. It feels like the storm that was upon them is now down in the valley with you. It's not doing anything precipitation-wise. It is getting very dark, but it is getting very cold. It is getting, one might say, unnaturally cold.
Would there be maybe the rusted remains of a pre-non-historic vehicle, maybe a van, down by the river?
Is there any place nearby that we can see that would be a
Sheltering spot.
nice place to keep camp?
Up ahead a little ways, it looks like it gets a little bit wider. It looks like there's a pile of some building material, concrete and steel sitting there. Nothing really impressive. Not sure why it's there. Looks pretty random. It does widen right there a little ways.
Again, do I get any heebie-jeebies?
You do.
Yeah. We don't want to camp there.
Why not?
It's pretty dark in there.
Why not?
He emphasized dark.
I understood. Lynn.
I can feel the dark coming out of those ruins.
Out of the darkness?
I mean, unless you are a friend of the dark, I don't think we want to be in there. We might want to make some distance and...
Make some distance by doing what? Going back?
I'm just saying, not sleeping right outside of the monster den.
It's off in the distance still. We're not right up against it.
Yeah,
okay.
It's visually, so I mean, it's dark out, so you're looking at less than a quarter mile.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
If we're going to camp on this side of that, it would be beneficial to make sure we keep watch and ward against any dark...
Give me a empathy roll from your raven.
5.
So there is something descending the cliff face above you.
And there's something coming this way from above. It came from above! I tend to travel with my slingshot in hand, just because it's...
Yeah, no, you've already got the heebie-jeebies. Like, it really totally makes sense that you...
And so I will shoot a rock up that direction.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ready my cane for anything.
Is there any hand-sized rocks around?
Yeah, quite a few.
Okay. I'm gonna grab one. I have a whip with a custom end. It's got like a pouch at the end. I can put things into it.
Oh,
So,
that's gonna hurt.
depends on what I put.
Like a cat tail time.
Yeah,
Sort of thing.
cat of nine tails, but I can change out what's out in the end.
Set it on fire, or, you know, whatever you want to do.
I put a rock in there.
So at this point, you have been forewarned of a enemy force that was about to ambush you. So they will not get the surprised feature, which would not allow you to use skills. So when you are surprised, it's kind of like flat-footedness. So you only roll your attributes, and skills will not apply while you are still caught by surprise.
I guess I'm readying my bow also.
Okay.
Cocking the rifle.
So lighting is really an issue here, right? But through the last vestiges of sunset, there is but a moment of sunlight that shines across the face of the cliff, and you see descending on fast rope, face down, running down the side of the cliff, you see 4 scavengers with firearms. 2 with pistols, one with an assault rifle of some kind, and one with what I can only describe looks like a Jesse Ventura Gatling gun.
Awesome.
So, at this point, you are in combat. If you have not already switched over to the combat page, but everyone has a beginning tempo of 3. The scavengers are no exception. They're not either exceptionally faster or slower than you, so everyone will be operating on the same tempo. And everybody just gets to declare their actions. You have 2 action points. You can take turns. You can go round robin. You can go crisscross. Doesn't matter. How we resolve those actions is listed on the bottom of your stat sheet. So each box is a stage of resolution.
That's cool. I like it. Bursting. What does bursting mean?
So bursting is where you decide you need to go faster than everybody else, or at least everybody that's on the same tempo as you. So you could end up bursting at the expense of getting some stress, which is kind of a trade-off, right? Like you get to do this really cool thing, but then the next few things you do might suck.
Okay. Well, my action is when they're in range, I want to use my feature action, Born for Battle, which gives me a +1 accuracy. And I want to shoot the one carrying the assault rifle.
And Born for Battle gives you 1 extra accuracy, right?
Yeah,
so
accuracy.
You're going to use an extra die in your attempt to do damage. So you're going to use Born for Battle, which is going to end the turn as well. So you'll hold off on that. Everybody will declare first.
Yep.
Is there a lead person coming down, lead scavenger?
There is, yes. Yeah,
Right.
so we said there were 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's number 2.
Number 2, I'm going to cast Spirit of Fear on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm going to run closer to the cliff face to try and get some cover from firearms.
You can move up and take concealment or cover. So cover allows you to attack from it with a little bit of bonus to defense, right? Concealment does not allow you to attack from behind it, but it makes you an illegal target. Now, they could still drop a grenade next to you and you're still kind of screwed, but you physically can't be the target.
Okay. I'm going to go with...
You're also a Corsair. So you provide bonuses by like standing out and rallying and being like
Being the
Braveheart,
target leader.
Patriot, you know.
Yeah.
You do actually expose yourself mechanically. It's called exposed.
Well, I wasn't going to go to concealment.
Okay.
To cover.
Take cover. Okay.
Just in case they start shooting.
And that's a move action, so you can run up and take cover.
Closer to where they are, but still kind of like...
So you're like where they're going to drop to the ground, and then you're going to just start...
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
For me, I would like to use my munitionist feature to give myself exploding ammunition.
Nice. So that's going to be 1 action point. What's your second action?
Am I close enough to take a shot?
Yeah, so where they're at currently is a medium range. What kind of weapon are you using?
I'm using a rifle.
A rifle?
With exploding munition.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Aaron.
So we're kind of in range by slingshot?
Sure.
Okay. I am shooting. My Raven is doing like a dive bomb kind of screech
Nice
pass
attack. Okay, alright, so shoot.
Make them drop off the wire earlier.
Dive attack. Because we are on the same tempo, you got 4 bad guys that are going to go. The first move for 3 of them is going to be to drop to the ground. And then 1 of them is going to stay up in high watch. And that is going to be number 4 guy.
So the one furthest from us.
Yes.
Correct. So he's going to slow up, take a bead. He's in high watch. So high watch essentially is the trigger for that is the first person that he sees or attacks the group, if he can see everybody, then gets a shot from him. The second action is going to be to attack in order of left to right. It's going to be Aaron, Jeremy, and Jeff. And we will find out how that resolves itself on our next session.
Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you'd like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is bonethrowerstheater. You can also look us up on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.